Hello, hi. As you can see by my new background, I moved. I finally moved. And because I moved, mistakes were made. Did I put on too much eyeliner? Maybe. Did I finish my TBR? No, I didn't. Didn't do it again. I'm originally from California. I now live on the East Coast. So I'm used to big moves that completely suck all of the life out of me. This one was particularly odd because not only did my family pack up and move in a matter of 2 days from one section of the East Coast to another, we also got a dog, and my sister-in-law came out to stay with us for a few days. So my life has just been back to back to back to back, doing other things that had literally nothing to do with reading. So this month, the past month of April, going into the new month of May, I think I'm going to be kind to myself and make an executive decision. Let me explain. For the amount of things that I had to do this month, I actually did really well on my TBR. I read every book that I was supposed to, except for one. Now, do we want to take a moment and guess which one I didn't read? I'll give you a second. 1, 2, 3. It's no shock to anyone that I could not finish this dang book. Now, as you can see, I did start it. I'm in the first chapter. Is that, particularly impressive? No, it is not. However, it's what I did. And because I had this huge move, because I got a dog, because my family came to stay with me for a little while, and I'm filming this late. Like, it's not that I couldn't get my act together and edit the video before it needed to come out. This is the first day that I was able to film in my new space. So I'm already like 5 or 6 days into my reading month, and I still don't know what I'm supposed to read. I feel like, with all of that said, I don't think it's fair to make me take a punishment, especially because I only missed one book and I did technically start it. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to revisit this book, because if you remember, this is one of the books that I said I wanted to read in the year of our Lord 2022. I fully intend on finishing it this year. So I will get to her. I will. This book is the bane of my existence, and let's just move on. To be also extra fair, I am not going to draw a reward. If I don't finish my TBR at the end of the month, I take a punishment. If I do, I give myself a reward. And I think with the mitigating circumstances of what they are, I just think it would make sense for me not to pull anything. I don't think I should be rewarded because I didn't finish my TBR, but I also don't think I should be punished because I literally had so much happen. And I'm starting this video late, and so I feel like I'm already at a disadvantage because I lost, 5 or 6 days of reading. So with that said, let me tell you what I did read for the month of April to fulfill my other prompts, and then we'll get to the rolls. For my first roll for last month, I got a TBR card, and I had to read a book that was 300 pages in length or more. So I read A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. Banger. This was great. I gave this 5 stars. This book was the bisexual chaos that I needed. For my second roll, I got a yellow flower, which means to read a play or a poetry collection. And I read The Spider and the Fly by Toni Lizzie. I think I said that right. This is an adaptation of an older poem. I read this with my child. It was great. It was very fun to read. The illustrations are incredible. Highly recommend this one. For my third roll, I got another yellow flower, and I decided to finally get my act together, and I read all of the sonnets by William Shakespeare. Bisexual icon, literary icon, very much highly recommend. Sonnet 116 is still my favorite, but I found new favorites while reading this. So yeah, I loved it. I think I gave it 5 stars. For my fourth roll, I got a blue flower. And blue flowers mean you read a classic or literary fiction, and I chose She Who Must Not Be Named. We don't need to talk about this anymore. Didn't finish it. I will, just didn't happen this month. Oh well. For my fifth roll, I got another yellow flower. So I decided to read Once Around the Sun by Katz and Pham. This is very reminiscent of another poetry picture book that I read a few years ago. It was very sweet. I also read it with my child. It was great. Liked it a lot. And for my final roll for last month, I got a TBR card, and I had to read a book that was published by an indie press. So I bought for myself this gem. This was great. It was very steamy. It was very sweet. And one last thing, last month I did pull a punishment, and I actually had to pull a book out of my giant TBR jar. I read Blankets by Craig Thompson. This was great. It was awesome. I understand why this is a classic of the genre. It's very good. It's very beautiful. Please look up trigger warnings for this book. I didn't, and I actually really regret it. So if child abuse is something that really bothers you, I might steer clear of this, or just know that that's a big subject matter that Craig Thompson delves in the book, just so you know. Anyway, with all that said, let's go to the rolls. This is roll number 1. That is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a purple flower. Great start. I couldn't be happier. We got a purple flower, which is fantasy, which is one of my favorite genres of all time. I decided to continue with the series Spy Family. So this is the 6th volume. I was gonna be good and just wait for my local library to get their hands on the copy so I could check it out. But I honestly just couldn't wait. I was browsing, at a bookstore a month ago, and I saw that it was $10. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. I'm so excited. The reason, if you don't know, I'm counting this as a fantasy pick is because the daughter who is in the family, she has telepathy. The dog also has some fantastical powers as well. I'm so excited. I loved this series so much. If you did not see I think it was my February wrap up, I am obsessed with this series. It's great. It's so fun to read. I highly recommend. I'm very excited that I get to pick this up this month for sure. This is roll number 2. And that is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pink meets romance. Yes. For my second roll, I got a red flower, which, what a great month so far, guys. I'm so excited. My 2 favorite genres. I get them right off the bat. This is great. So I think 2 months ago, I tried to read The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane, and I got like 50% of the way through, and then I really wasn't feeling it, so I put it down. And my audiobook from my library became available recently, so I think I'm going to try this again. This is roll number 3. And that is 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
We got another player poetry collection. Well, we got more poetry, guys. So this month, for another poetry prompt that I got, I am gonna read Pillow Thoughts 2 by Courtney Peppernell. I picked this up at a local bookstore where I used to live about a month ago. I believe this is her sequel. I couldn't get my hands on the original Pillow Thoughts. So if I like this, I am probably gonna pick up the first one. And then I know she also wrote a third one. I really honestly picked it up because the cover is just so cool. So yeah, I'm excited. We'll give it a shot. This is roll number 4. That's a 17.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
That is an orange flower. Hi, hello, Editing Katie here. Really quickly. I forgot the rules to my own game for some reason. So orange flowers are not nonfiction, they're science fiction. So I filmed a whole thing explaining what I picked for my nonfiction pick, and it's immaterial because that's not what it is. Instead of the nonfiction pick that I originally picked when I originally took the time to film this thing, I am going to read Only Human by Sylvain Nouvelle. This is the end of the trilogy of the Themis Files. It's great. I'm gonna listen to it on audiobook just like I listened to the other ones. Complete banger. I am slightly annoyed that I have to go back in and edit this in, but at the same time, I'm really grateful that I get to finish up this series because it's really good. This is Editing Katie. So sorry. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Bye. This is roll number 5. And that's another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we got another fantasy, not bad. Speaking of books that I said that I wanted to read this year in 2022, I put Perfectly Pegasus by Jessie Sima. And I knew this was coming out this year. It was being published this year. And I just was so excited to continue reading more of Jessie Sima's books. Their books are amazing. And as you can tell, I got a signed copy, which I'm so excited about. Look at it. I literally picked this up at my local bookstore the day it came out. This was an amazing purchase. Money very much well spent. Look at that cover. Can't get enough. So for my 5th roll, I am going to read Perfectly Pegasus by Jessie Sima. I can't wait. I don't know what it's about, but who cares? Because Jessie Sima wrote it, and that's all that matters. Let's go to the next roll. This is roll number 6. And that's an 18.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
That's another purple flower. Wow, this is the month of fantasy. We got another fantasy prompt, and I decided to pick up Captive of the Dark Elf by Celeste King. I read the first book in this series like a week ago, a week and a half ago. It was such a quick read and it was very fun. I like the fantastical elements that King is playing with in her books. I very much enjoyed the first one, and so I saw that the second one was published like a week ago, so it was just a no-brainer. I'm going to, for my third fantasy prompt, I'm gonna pick this up just to mix things up a bit, you know? Like, we all like a little smutty fantasy romance now and again. Who among us has not read a Kindle Unlimited book to make ourselves feel better at 2 a.m? Don't know what else to say. It's about dark elves and humans, and a human is gonna have sexy time with a beautiful dark elf man. That's all you need to know. That's all I need to know. Let's go on. This is roll number 7. Oh, wow, so close. That's a 2. 1, 2. And that's a mystery thriller. We were so close. So close to being done and getting a TBR card. It's all right. I am going to bring back an oldie but goodie, and I'm gonna try to read If We Were Villains again by M.L. Rio. I know that this is about a Shakespeare play. I know that it's about murder and mayhem. I know it's about a man who was sent to prison for a murder he may or may not have committed. It sounds like something I would really enjoy. It sounds like a great book. I know a lot of people have read it. I know a lot of people really loved it. I just think I need to sit down and start reading it. For this roll, which, man, we were so close to being done, but I'm definitely gonna pick up If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, give it a shot. I'll see how I like it, and I'll let you know what I think. All right, this is roll number 8, our last roll. Doesn't matter what we get, but hey, we got a 6. And that means that we need to pull a TBR card. A January, February, or March publication. Finally, we're done with our rolls for the month of May. And we got, like we always do at the end of the game, a TBR card. And we specifically have to read a book that was published in January, February, or March. So I am going to read Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. I read The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher last year, loved it, adored it, loved her writing. I loved the world that she created. I loved what she did with her characters. I also adore Dungeons and Dragons. I listened to as you know, I made a whole video about my love for a Dungeons and Dragons podcast on this channel. This was published in February of 2020, so totally fits the prompt. I'm very excited. This has been on my TBR basically since I read The Hollow Places, because I looked up more of T. Kingfisher's books because I loved The Hollow Places so much. Thank you so much for coming and tuning in to my TBR game for the month of May. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have a great day. Bye.